Hello, welcome to Comics Versus, a Lorehounds podcast. I'm Elysia, your tour guide to interdimensional superhero cinematics.
And I'm Jean, just looking for a portal out of here. But I'll take the movies instead. So let's just get into our first escapist head-to-head. It's a new year, and the MCU and DCU are promising to keep us entertained. But which will keep us the most entertained? Dun, dun,
dun. So you and I have gathered here today to look at the two of these across three categories. We've got 2026 movies. We've got 2026 TV shows for each MCU and DCU. And then we're going to look at what we hear or know of is in the pipeline after that, what the future of these franchises look like. So in each category, we will declare a winner or maybe a tie. And then ultimately, who is winning 2026 going in.
There
but
will be
before
no
we
ties. No ties.
All right, we'll see. I mean, I don't know. You and I might feel differently about some things. We'll see.
No ties. Clear winners.
If there's a tie, then dear listener, you get to be the tiebreaker and choose.
But no ties. But no ties.
So before we get into 2026, let's look back on 2025. We've of course covered all of these things that we're about to mention in dedicated episodes. I guess we'll try to avoid big spoilers for this part. They've all been out for a while, but we know there's a lot on TV. You might not have time to catch up. But we'll just share what are our general feelings. So starting with, what do you want to start with? Do you want to set up, Jean, for us what went on in 2025 in the MCU?
Okay, so to start off the year, we had Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man animated show.
We both liked it, yeah.
Yeah, I actually watched it with E. For those who don't know, E is my 9-year-old. He was my 8-year-old then. And we both really loved it. I think there were some important lessons for him to learn in that show around friendship and fear of missing out and not having that. So it was a really good show for us to watch together. I thought the animation was great. The story was awesome. And it was a really enjoyable Spider-Man.
Yeah, and me watching it as someone who doesn't have a kid, but I was just watching it as an adult who enjoys animation and doesn't turn my nose up at stuff that's, I mean, it's definitely kid friendly, but it's not for kids the way Young Jedi Adventures is or something, or Spidey and Friends, it's not that kind of kid show.
I don't think I would have let him watch it by himself.
No, okay, because you want to talk to him about the stuff that comes up. Yeah, definitely. It has complexities and nuance, and I like that. Yeah. We were less excited about the second MCU offering. This is all phase 5 still, by the way, but yeah, the second was Captain America Brave New Worlds. It came out on Valentine's Day of 2025, and I don't think either of us felt that it was a really worthy successor to the storyline that they had been setting up with Sam Wilson and Isaiah, and just that whole side of things. It really kind of dropped the ball there.
Yeah, definitely. They dropped the ball. Some of the sequences were gorgeous, as Marvel tends to do. They more often than not get the visuals down pat. So there are some scenes in that movie that are just wow to look at. Mm-hmm. But overall, the movie was not a favorite of mine at all.
No. Actually, I think it might even be currently my lowest rated movie of the year. It's feature length. Yeah, I think I got really frustrated with it. Just it wasn't just that it was empty. It was that it took something that I felt had real. I mean, I thought that Falcon and the Winter Soldier was an imperfect show, and I gave a lot of COVID passes out for stuff that was affected by that, and that's definitely
Hmm.
the case. But I thought what it had in there it makes it one of the shows from Marvel that I still think about the most. And the fact that they just squandered that just really pissed me off. So that's why it's my lowest rated film of the year.
And the last thing I'll say about Brave New World is that I think there's a really good movie in there,
Mm.
but they were too afraid to pull
Yes.
that movie off.
Yes, you could just see it.
There's a really good story in there.
There's like this fear and dancing around, and
Yeah.
yeah. Hmm.
And they were just so afraid of telling the story that they had that it just made the movie, to me, unbearable.
And we will never forgive Sam Wilson for telling Isaiah to go back and wait in
Go
jail,
back to jail. The fuck?
knowing he's an innocent man, obviously.
just just terrible all around.
Yeah. Anyway, so we like the next one though. Thunderbolts came out May 2nd.
You missed one. You
Or
missed one. You skipped. You skipped.
oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Well, we like this one too.
Yeah. Yeah, we,
So you feel as if what is it? What did I skip?
you skipped Daredevil Born Again that came out in March 4th, um, which was a continuation of the Netflix series. So again, this is something that we both like, and I think you know Vincent D'Onofrio continues to be amazing in the role of the Kingpin,
Hmm.
and he is just his Wilson Fisk is every bit as good as Colin Farrell's Penguin.
Hmm.
And I think we should really do a study on both of these actors playing these roles and inhabiting these roles in the way that they did.
Yeah. I mean, they wisely leaned into their strength, which is the Matt Murdock versus Kingpin dynamic. And those are the two powerhouse actors who are just incredible, like gifts from the heavens for these roles. And they leaned into that a lot. Now, it was an imperfect season. We discussed
Yes,
that a lot
absolutely.
in we did breakdowns every few days. Luke joined us also.
Yeah,
Um, and yeah, it was imperfect, but it was also I gave a pass there because I know they changed the showrunners and directors and things like that. So they kind of rewrote it halfway through.
right.
And I am glad with the direction they're going. So now we get to see what if this team, what can they do when they are envisioning it. Well, we'll talk about that with season 2. But anyway, season 1, I liked it. Makes me look more forward to season 2. And then Thunderbolts came out in May. And yeah, thoughts on that, Sean?
I mean, that was a great movie. That's the thoughts. It was a great movie. It was so emotional and so heartfelt and really told an amazing story in the superhero genre that maybe you can hope that other movies, other producers and directors, you know, take a look at and say, hey, we can tell complicated and hard and difficult stories and still make them enjoyable and still make them poignant and still make them relatable for the audience. So this was an especially a high ranking movie for me. Um, and there's just one scene where they have the Sentry being overtaken by the Void that I think the visuals for that just stand out in a year of standout visuals. This was one of those
Hmm.
moments that really was like, oh shit, wow, So yeah. What
Yeah.
about you?
Yeah, I mean, this and Superman keep swapping places for my top superhero film of the year. They've
Okay,
both clung on in my top 20. And I'm saying this as someone who watches literally hundreds of movies every year. So
right.
I really think that Thunderbolts was something special. I think that they fortunately realized that. We'll talk about that as we do the preview for 2026 and where we might be getting this kind of talent. But this is what, if we compare this to Captain America, which of course we did
Yeah,
at the
so we
time.
have to. Yeah,
Yeah. This is what we want to see them doing. Is it doesn't have to be expensive. Of course it's expensive, but it's not as expensive as other films. it comes down to, do we care about these characters? And I think, Marvel gets rightfully a lot of pushback on the fact that they do these rock'em sock'em finales all the time. And this was something else. This was something that was more meaningful. It touched me personally. I know it touched a lot of other people on a very personal level. And I just urge anyone who hasn't watched it yet, it's out on streaming now. Just
Yeah, give it a try. I think.
take a couple hours, and
Yeah,
you might find yourself quite surprised.
yeah, definitely.
And then closing out phase 5, we had Ironheart, which again, we both quite liked.
Yes, yes, yes. Except that ending.
Well, why
I still,
except, well, you're
I
just
still,
mad at her?
I'm mad at, I'm mad at her. I'm just mad. I didn't like that. No, like no. But the entire
They got to
series,
pay it off. They got to pay
and
off that
that's
situation.
part of why I'm
Mhm.
like just no, because I don't know if it will be paid off.
I know.
And just yeah, just I great series. A really wonderful and proper introduction for a character in Riri Williams. I think we get to know her. We get to know her circumstances and why why she is. You know, why she does the things
Mhm.
that she does. Um, she makes me mad. She makes me happy. Um, she invokes in me all sorts of paternalistic, and I don't mean that in the horrible way, but like I could see my nieces, and if I had a daughter like me saying, why are you doing this? Like, don't do this. Don't go down this road. You know what I mean? All the protectiveness that I have for my own child. It was just like, oh, if he goes through this, how am I going to handle it? What do I say? And I could feel that watching the show. And that was really poignant for me. That was really powerful. And I thought it was overall it was a good series. And I think again, this is one that people should give a chance. Don't We don't know where she will fit in the new MCU,
Right.
but for this moment, it captures who she is as a character quite well. And I thought
Mm.
that was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I am really hoping that they don't just skip over that whole champions generation that they were going to do with Kate Bishop and Riri and um Kamala and all that, because yeah, I was really excited for that. So I'm going to hold my breath, see what happens. They're holding their cards much closer to their chests now, and they're all trying to slow down releases. So we'll talk about that. But yeah, they certainly did not slow down in 2025, because we also then got the Fantastic Four First Steps. This was the first part of Phase 6, the final phase of the multiverse saga. So Fantastic Four released July 25th. Jean, I think you and I we might have slightly different opinions on this one. What are your thoughts on Fantastic Four First Steps?
I liked it.
Hmm.
Yeah, I liked the film. I thought it was a fun film. I thought it captured the spirit of the FF family, and that was enjoyable for me to see. Um, I think they did Galactus how Galactus should be done. Um,
Hmm.
so there were. It wasn't. I was fearful going into the movie that the movie wouldn't hit the way that I wanted it to hit, but it did, because they really focused on presenting the Fantastic Four as a family first, superhero team second. And that's what I wanted. I wanted to see those interactions between the four of them um, that shows that. And I think that is exactly what they did. And I was happy for that. Some of the action sequences were amazing. The Silver Surfer, I think, looked great. Um, and overall, I was really happy with the film.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, there are definite parts that were stand out to me in a good way, like particularly the first scenes with Galactus and yeah, the Silver Surfer, the way she was done, and that whole birth scene. I won't spoil
Oh
anything
gosh,
for anyone who hasn't seen it, but that was
amazing.
beautiful
Yeah,
and tense, and
yeah.
all the emotions. Um, Overall, though, when it comes to the writing and the way the plot was, I felt them cutting it apart and pasting it back together. And yes, I will talk linguistics now. I'm still mad about the I'm still mad about it, but I'll, see our Fantastic Four episode, or extensive discussion on Discord about it, including examples of how it could have been done better. But it was just there were too many things like that were like making me pick at it. So it's not
Right.
like I'm not condemning it to the bottom of my list like Brave New World, but it's definitely it's in like the lower middle of my rankings for the year, I'd
Okay.
say,
That's fair.
overall.
That's fair. And can I ask you a question?
Mm.
Can I say not the horrible part of paternalistic? Is there such a thing? Is there
What do you
such a
mean? Say more.
is there such a thing as not as paternalistic, but not in a terrible sense? Is there such a thing?
Okay.
Could that be?
Yeah.
Is that a
I
possibility?
mean, everything's complex, but why you
Okay.
see Fantastic Four, is that?
No. I was just remembering what I said about Riri, and I said that, and I was like, wait a
Mm.
minute. Can I say
Okay.
paternalistic, but not in a terrible way? Does that jive? If anybody has
No, I
thoughts,
mean,
let me know.
yeah. Let us know your
Let
thoughts on
us know. Let
linguistics.
us know. And
I mean, it does
paternalism.
literally just mean acting fatherly, but then, of course, we've come to associate these in a
Yes,
condescending way,
yes,
addendum to
yes.
it. Hmm. All right, so MCU, not done yet. They
No.
had two final things that came out, two animated series, each one a 4-episode drop. We got Eyes of Wakanda on August 1st and Marvel Zombies on September 24th. We did separate episodes on each. You'll find them in the feed. But your overall thoughts, Sean?
I where do you start with the animation for both of them?
Yeah,
Just
beautiful.
just incredible. Just incredible. Uh Eyes of Wakanda, I I liked, but I don't know. I think we spoke about this a little bit. I wanted to see more of Wakanda,
Hmm.
Wakanda proper, the how the people move in the city, in the nation. Um, and I didn't get that. I got how Wakanda operates with the outside world. And for my Wakandan knowledge, as far as screen is concerned, on screen is concerned, we know how they operate with the outside world. I wanted to have more introspection on Wakandan society, and I didn't get that. So that was
Hmm.
my major drawback from the series. Marvel Zombies was, whoo! I mean, what's the peculiar scale? Where we at on that?
Max is 5, so I'm pretty
And
sure it's an 11.
okay, there we go. Right, so that was just great zombie gore action.
Hmm.
Um, totally
Beautiful gore.
enjoyable,
Yeah.
beautifully rendered action sequences, and I got involved in the story as well. I'm not going to front, and that's
Mm.
another one where a young person makes a decision that I so wanted them not to make, right?
Hmm.
And that stayed with me for a little while, like thinking about why was that decision made. So when a show can do that, whether it's live action or animated, I think it works. And, the show worked for me.
Yeah, I slightly prefer Eyes of Wakanda. I like them both, obviously. Because I guess just because the anthology nature of Eyes of Wakanda, it means that I knew going in that it was going to be a sort of disjointed story, and so
Okay.
obviously there are some episodes I prefer to others, but I expected that. And it is funny, based on the time periods, it wasn't even necessarily the ones that I thought it would be. But I was there for all those little stories, and I felt like I somehow personally got more out of it. Like, I see what you mean, that it wasn't really about Wakanda because it was about people from Wakanda who live abroad. It's more about Wakanda's interaction with the rest of the world rather than the country itself, which would have been cool too. But then, yeah, they would have had to focus, like they were going to do a Dora Milaje show, and that would have been all about that. So it's a shame we didn't get that. But I found it interesting to see how Wakandan history fit with the rest of the world, which both I found awe-inspiring, just thinking about how far advanced they were thousands of years ago, but also intensely frustrating in the way that was intended. That how dare you just abandon the rest of the world?
Right,
Um,
and that's part of the reason why I wanted to see, the
yeah.
inner workings of the society.
No, I get that. Yeah, it was just in both cases they were by too quickly. Marvel Zombies felt more like it was a lot of spectacle, and not just in terms of the action, yes, that, but also in terms of like concepts like let's make Blade and Moon Knight one thing. Like,
Mm,
yes, let's do
hmm
that. That's awesome.
hmm
Or what we got, Infinity Hulk, or a lot of really cool surprises like that. So it had a lot of high highs. I guess for me, Eyes of Wakanda was just a bit more consistent.
That's fair.
So yeah. And yeah, Marvel Zombies left off in a way like I think both of them probably were going to be more and longer, but then they decided to rethink everything, and they're like, well, we'll just give you what we've got for these so far. And that's a shame.
Yeah.
But okay, so that is the year in Marvel. Let's swap over to the very first year of the new DCU. So if you're confused, what's the difference between the DCEU and DCU? We did a whole episode about that, so see there. But the DCU kicked off actually at the end of the last year, at the end of 2024, going into 2025 with Creature Commandos season 1, and I know I liked this more than you did.
Yes, yes, you did. Um, it was fine. It was fine. I wasn't, most of the characters that we got to know, I wasn't too enamored with, aside from the bride and Weasel. Um, yeah, I hated Frankenstein, the portrayal. Um, I'm not, and I'm, yeah, not a fan. I had troubles with watching week to episode, week to week, and it just never really captured me.
Hmm.
And I don't know if it's because of the cast of characters, or was it because just I didn't like how the cast of characters were being portrayed. So
Yeah, I hear you, and I think we're both more positive on the other two things we're going to discuss. But for me, my issue with I had a lot of fun with it. I shouted it out recently as one of my favorite
praise,
portrayals of the
yeah,
Bride character.
yeah,
Um, and so for me, it had real high highs. I'm only really mad at one thing, which, we said no spoilers, but the thing that happens in the last episode,
yeah, totally,
see our discussion of that. But that's, for me, it's putting that show at the first season at a B minus, I think, which is
okay.
still fine, good. I enjoyed myself. I'm looking forward to season 2. I'm curious.
And I can't
It's
can't forget GI Robot. So
Yeah, Gia Robot was great, and the
yeah,
whole Weasel storyline
yeah,
too was
yeah,
really
yeah. It was
heart
really good. It
wrenching.
was really powerful.
Yeah, had some high highs. But yeah, especially I'm curious about season 2 after, there is a real interconnectedness, which obviously is the problem with Marvels all over the place now. DCU is very focused. We only got 3 things this year, so they all definitely, we see how they fit together. The second thing was, of course, Superman, July 11th, and that was probably like the film that you were most nervous and hopeful for going into
Yes,
2025, I think.
yes, and it knocked it out the park
Mhm.
for me. That film was magnificent. It's everything that a Superman film should be. And I'm saying this as a noted,
James Gunn detractor.
as a James Gunn detractor. Yes, I am. I make
I knew
no
exactly where
qualms
you're
about it.
going, so noted.
Right. So really, really, really was a wonderful movie to watch Superman and be Superman. Um, there's nothing that I honestly, I can't say it's perfect, right? But there was
Hmm.
nothing in watching the film. Um, there is nothing that I would say I wish they did something else with this part of it.
Right.
So everything to me fit the way that it should have fit
Hmm.
into the film and into the story of Superman. And I was very happy that they did so well with such an iconic character. And I think the linchpin of Gunn's universe, because this sets a tone of what you can expect from these characters.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, for me, that I identify with Lois Lane for a lot of reasons, but Superman, never my favorite character per se, the whole Boy Scout of it all. We'll discuss that. But we got here a real, raw human take
Right.
on Kal-El. So, and David Cornsweet also obviously deserves just as much credit as James Gunn and to
Absolutely.
realizing that. And I love the whole team. And yeah, sometimes it was maybe a little messy and overstuffed in the way James Gunn can do, but those parts I had such a good time. And then, and I went in excited about certain characters and I always love a team up, but like I didn't know I was going to come out of this a Mr. Terrific stan because I didn't even know who he was before this film. So this film just, I think that it worked on pretty much everyone the same way. It was great to see all the good reviews, to see it do well at the box office, and just have people come together and be excited about something that's so relatively wholesome but honest. And I did I even went on Nevermind the Music and did a whole Hope Punk episode about this. So yeah.
And to your point, to bring a character like Mr. Terrific, who, you know, one of my faves, period, in DC Comics, but to bring a character like that to the forefront, where not many people are familiar with who he is, and just to get people on board, like, yeah, we need a terrific show, a terrific movie. That you've done an amazing job at presenting these characters. And so, because for me, I would be seated for a Mr. Terrific movie regardless, right? But for
Mhm.
folks who don't read the comics, haven't read much about him, to watch the movie and then to come out of the movie and say, "Hey, I need that. Need to see that on screen." That is amazing. That is amazing. So, yeah, a great film.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the last thing of the year was obviously you, Aaron, and I, full weekly coverage, had a lot of fun along the way. It ranked highly on a lot of people's end of year lists. I'm sorry, I put it at 11. It was such a packed year.
You put it
Um,
at 11?
it was such a packed year. I'm
11?
sorry. I know. Even
Oh,
Silo was a 10.
oh,
Even Silo was a 10. Come
11?
on.
11.
I mean, these are my babies, but my God, did we have some incredible television this year?
We did. We did.
But this was part of it. This was also part of the incredible television season 2 of Peacemaker, which is the first part now in the DCU. And I liked how James Gunn handled that with the whole previously on in the DCU, and then it just kind of redid mostly season 1 events, but just a couple little subs to change the
Right.
universe, instead
Right.
of the DCEU Justice League, we have the DCU Justice Gang, stuff like that. So I thought very smoothly done and very directly sets up we believe, the second Superman movie.
Yeah, definitely. This is one of my favorite shows from last year. Unlike certain people on this pod, it was firmly in my top 10.
I swore that all year
unlike
long.
unlike
I mean, what am I going
others
to do?
who
Like
may be
cut Alien
talking.
Earth or something? Like, come on.
So I had this in my top 10 just for the record. Um yeah, this was just a great TV show. And again, uh you said Corin Sweat, right, was amazing as Superman.
Mhm.
And this is someone whose Superman is Henry Cavill, right? And I
Mhm.
look at
To you,
and
yeah.
I watched the movie and I was like, Henry who? You know? I said, Henry who?
New
No.
Superman, who dis?
but I say all that to say that John Cena was amazing in this TV
Yeah.
show.
Yeah. I mean, they're never going to take him seriously at the Emmys for
Never,
this, but they should. They
but they should.
should. He deserves it at
Yes.
least as much as any other performance I've seen this year. At least.
Absolutely. Absolutely. He was simply amazing in this role as this character on this show in this season. And for as much as I like Mr. Terrific, I don't really like Peacemaker. I've
Mm.
never been a fan of Peacemaker in the comics. Um, wasn't a fan of Peacemaker in the previous Gunn offerings, but I'm a fan of Peacemaker now.
Yeah.
And I want to see more of Peacemaker now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because of John Cena.
Right. Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and James Gunn's writing. I'm going to give Gunn some credit here too, and the entire ensemble cast. You know,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
we
yeah.
didn't talk about
Definitely.
like
For the
like
show, yeah,
Adebayo and
definitely.
Judo Master,
Yes.
and we got Flurry this season was a great addition, and double Adrian. So it was just such a fun show, and it didn't necessarily need to go as hard as it did when it came to addressing racism, for example. And so I have a lot of respect for it for doing that, but also keeping it fun. um, Keeping, we our discussions of it, we had a lot of laughs and we had a lot of really deep talks
Yeah.
because it was that kind of show.
Yeah.
And that's my favorite kind of show, to be honest. Yeah. All right. So, what are your feelings then about these MCU and DCU going into 2026? Ignoring what we know is ahead, just focusing on what we've already seen. Which way are you tipping in terms of like, oh, this is where I'm really getting excited?
Um, I don't know if I can answer that now, but I will say that because of Peacemaker, I think even though the MCU had far more offerings, and some of those offerings were really good, but I just think Peacemaker was head and shoulders above what we got from the MCU from Marvel last year.
Mm-hmm.
Given these three shows, these three offerings, the Creature Commandos, Superman, and Peacemaker, I would give
Mm-hmm.
the win to DCU for 2025.
Yeah. Yeah, so Marvel, there's more and it's all over the place. It has some of my favorite things and as I said, some of my least favorite things
Yeah,
too. Um, so it is a much more mixed batch, whereas DCU focused, they and launched this new universe in a way where I feel more oriented in the new DCU than I did in the MCU where I've been spending time for, I don't know, 20 something years, right?
right.
So I have to give it to DCU for 2025 as well. Yeah. They are at an advantage going into our 2026 conversation with both of us. And I've always been the staunch Marvel defender, so
Yes, you have. Yes,
um
that
that
is
says a
true.
lot.
That is true.
All right, well, let's take a quick pause here. And when we come back, we are going to talk about the 2026 movies for both Marvel and DC. Be right back. Okay, we can't spoil the things we're about to talk about because we haven't seen them yet. They don't really fully exist yet.
I'm gonna spoil it all. We'll spoil
But
it
we
all.
we do reserve the right to discuss anything and everything Marvel and DC from this point, including plot points from all that stuff we talked about in 2025. So we will be spoiling 2025 stuff, and we also are free to talk about uh, past TV, movies, comics, and any future rumors or things we might have. Just we're taking off the spoiler band-aid. Here we go. So okay, Marvel. Let's start with MCU. We're still in phase 6, so the final phase of the multiverse saga. And we have 2 films coming out this year, so far as we know, which is what they promised. They said that they were going to start doing only 2 films a year, which I don't hate. Do you want to set up the first one?
Sure, sure. So we have Spider-Man Brand New Day coming to us July 31st, 2026. It's directed by Destin Daniel Cretton, who did Shang-Chi, which we both, I think, loved.
Yeah.
This is the start of a new trilogy. It looks to be a more street level approach for Spidey. They're getting the whole gang is coming back. Plus Sadie Sink as a character we don't know who she's playing yet. We also know the Punisher and Incredible Hulk will be characters in the movie as well. The screenplay was by Chris McKenna and Eric Summers. They're both comedy writers for TV shows. And yeah, we'll see how it goes with this trilogy. What do you
Yeah.
think?
I mean, my question is this going to span sagas? Is this going to be connected to? We'll talk later about the TV side of things, but there's been discussion of separating the TV and the movie universes. And with it looks like there was a big discussion with the Spider-Man movie. Is it going to be street level, or is it going to be cosmic? And it seems like street level one. And we know they're bringing in, for example, the Punisher, obviously, has thus far been part of the Daredevil universe, which is very much TV. And we've heard Vincent D'Onofrio, Kingpin from Daredevil, say that it is different contracts, and he's contracted for TV, not films. Now that could be tricky, whatever. But what if Spider-Man doesn't even play a role in Avengers Doomsday and
We
Secret
riot.
Wars?
We riot.
Well, I guess he has to in Secret Wars. Like
We
everyone,
riot.
Secret
We
Wars affects
riot.
everyone.
We riot. Okay. There's absolutely no way that they can. The idea that they're going to separate TV universe from movie universe
I don't like it.
infuriates me.
Yeah.
I hate it. Please
Hmm.
don't do this. Feige, you're already skating on thin ice, bro. Please. This is not necessary. This is not what the people want. We don't want that. We don't need that, right? You can tell, stories from multiple universes. You can have one-offs and stuff like that. But to say you're going to separate what's happening from the TV shows to what's happening in the movies makes absolutely no sense. Don't do it. You've tried it already. Nobody wanted it. Everybody was looking for the Avengers and Defenders to get together. Everybody wanted it. We don't want this. Keep the
Yeah.
stories, keep the characters that everyone and who knows about them loves, and let the people who don't know get introduced to them and how they interact with each other. This is a shared world, a shared universe. Why must we try to say, oh, this doesn't belong here, this belongs there? No, nobody wants that. Please don't do this.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that they make more money in theaters, and that is where they are less inclined to take risks. And I'm okay with that. Although, if we say Thunderbolts was a risk, they kept the budget fairly low and then they reaped the rewards because of that. So you can take those kinds of risks in the cinema, and that was good. But okay, fine. I understand they can take more risks on the television side, and maybe they are. I just think one of the biggest complaints that people have had about the more recent Marvel stuff is that it's not interconnected enough, and they're so afraid of people being not wanting to go see the movie because they haven't seen this or that. Well, I think that they're thinking about this the wrong way because the people who actually really care are just getting frustrated that they're watching stories that just aren't given real commitment
Right.
and so just left to die and go nowhere. And that's, I think, where people are getting fed up. If you give us a story that we are compelled to watch, then we will follow it in both formats
And
gladly.
and also, if you make a good movie, people are gonna go see it.
Yeah.
You know, people will find it. People will go see a good movie. So the idea that, someone will say to themselves, "Oh, I didn't watch the TV show, so I can't go to the movie." I call BS on that. Because
I mean, I guess,
if the
yeah,
movie's good, if you're hearing good things about the movie
if your
from
friends are all
critics,
going, yeah.
your
Hmm.
friends,
Your family,
your
yeah.
pods that you listen to, you're hearing good things about it. You're on social media. You're like, "Oh, this is a great movie." You're not going to say to yourself, "Oh, I didn't watch the TV show. I'm not going to go see it." I call BS on that. I do. Make a good movie and the people will come see a good movie.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and I think the fact I'm on record as saying that I agree with them slowing down their output because I think they were trying to do too much at once. And capitalism, baby, it encourages the wrong things. But they were trying to do too much at once and thus spreading themselves too thin. And thus, there was some quality dips in certain areas. And I think that they just need to understand why. What do people love comic movies for? Yes, they're ridiculous plots and everything, but they are compelling human stories. They are, and I'm going to say they are compelling human stories, Disney, that appeal to outsiders. This
Right.
is why I'm looking at you, Disney, because the next saga is the Mutant Saga, and that is a saga about outsiders. So you've got to you've got to make sure that you continue to tell those stories, and that's something that I'm really worried about with what's been going on and with why.
In the real world.
Yeah, but
And the
also
repercussions that
what
they have
like
for the movies, for
yeah,
entertainment.
with Captain America, I feel like
Yeah,
you
look at
talked about them being
exactly.
afraid. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
So okay, but anyway, Spider-Man, brand new day. I I just am very curious. I don't want to say confused because it's they don't report to me first, unfortunately. So I don't need to know yet how this all ties in. But if this is going to be the start of a trilogy, we have this coming out before Doomsday. I would be shocked if they got another Spider-Man movie out before. I mean, maybe they're secretly working on it behind the scenes or film back to back and fooled us all, and so that they can get one out in 2027 before Secret Wars. But I'm going to assume not. And also, just considering obviously the Spider-Man side, they have to share that with Sony, so that is a whole
Right.
other complication. So I'm just very curious how this will tie into or play with the whole Secret Wars thing, which, well, we said the spoilers for comics. What is Secret Wars, Jean, for anyone who doesn't know?
Um Doom takes the
I
survivors
mean,
of the
yeah. Well, it's just
well,
like all the
I'm
worlds are
based
ripped.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
basing it off on the second one where
Hmm.
Doom
Yeah, the second
basically
one.
takes the survivors of the end of the universe and forms one world where he rules over. And it's a
Right.
patchwork world made up of different parts of the Marvel universe from
So
the
it's not
comics.
like Spider-Man or Daredevil or whatever won't notice,
Right.
It's like
Exactly. No, everybody's gonna know what's going on.
yeah. Yeah. So how does that play in? How does Spider-Man play into that? Could this Or on the other hand, rather than it not being a part of that,
Actually,
could
no.
this be a
Everybody doesn't know what's
key?
going on. I'm sorry for saying that.
Oh, okay.
Excuse
Okay.
me. Everybody doesn't know what's going on. So it's yeah, they're existing on this world as if this was the only world they ever existed on. And it's the people who were riding out the end of the universe who crash on the world that figure out, oh, what is happening here? And
So
that is,
everyone
yes,
so
they were
everyone is like,
survivors. They were survivors of the universe that did not land on Doctor Doom's planet of Battleworld. They were adrift in a ship that rode out the end of the universe and rode the wave to Battleworld. And once they landed on Battleworld, they were like, oh shit. But everybody who went to Battleworld, they believe this is the only thing that's existed. That Doom has always been God.
but they at least know of Doom being God, so that we would have to see that
Yes,
reflected
yes,
in
yes,
the
yes,
Spider-Man
yes,
movie.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
And also did this whole memory amnesia sort of spell, very much like what happened at the end of the last Spider-Man movie. So that's where we're setting up this new Spider-Man movie, is
Right,
everyone
right.
has forgotten
Mhm.
that Peter Parker is Spider-Man, including Mary Jane.
Right.
MJ, sorry, as we call her in this version, Zendaya. So and including his best friends and everything, and it was sort of a back to the basics, was how we saw the last movie ending, with Tom Holland making his own suit instead of having
Yes.
his superpowered Tony Stark suit. So yeah, it is this back to the basics, but he should still notice there's something going on. So I wonder if, rather than not being part of it, what if it ends up being load bearing for this whole transition to the new?
I think it has to be. I think this movie is very important to Doomsday.
Yeah, well, and the transition through Secret Wars, I'm wondering,
Yes.
because there's no way they're getting, if they're still doing the 3 movies, obviously they change their mind all the time, but if there is a trilogy, there's no way they're all coming out before Secret Wars.
Right, right, right.
So
But
I
I
think we're
think
keeping Tom Holland.
the Spidey movie is, for all intents and purposes, I think is the beginning of
Right.
the Spider-Man movie.
Because, yeah, we know we're going to lose a lot of characters in Doomsday
Mhm.
and Secret Wars, because this is a soft reboot of the multiverse will whittle back down to the focus of one universe, which will, whatever happens in Secret Wars, it seems like that's going to be what causes, this is all part of the future conversation, but anyway, it's what causes the mutations, it sounds like, in this world. Okay, so that's Spider-Man. We've already set up a lot. Avengers Doomsday coming
Yeah.
out December 18th. What else did the people need to know about this one?
I mean, that's is what can you say about a franchise that has the name Avengers that people don't know at this point?
I mean, maybe there's someone living under a rock who didn't know that Robert
But
Downey
yeah,
Jr., formerly Tony Stark, is coming out back
right.
as Doom himself. How are you feeling about that? Because we've had some,
I still hate it. I
yeah,
still hate it, and I'm not even hating that. When I say I still hate it, I don't mean to say that I don't think he's capable of
no, yeah,
pulling it
he's a
off.
talented actor. No, that's
Yes,
not at all.
that's
Yeah,
not what I'm saying. I just wanted new direction
mm-hmm.
for the new direction.
Right.
And this is too much of a callback for me. The teasers that we got, the Thor, the Captain America, did absolutely nothing for me. I'm not going to
Mm-hmm.
pretend that they did. Um, the last 2 teasers, I have to say, um, yeah, got a little excited there. I'm not gonna lie. I said, "Ooh, what we doing here, Russo's? What y'all got going on over here? Let me see this, you know." So I got a little excited there. Oh, Cyclops. Oh, okay. Oh, wait a minute, Ben from Yancey Street? Oh, in the desert with my boy M'Baku? What are we doing? What Shuri? Black Panther? Is that Namor? So yeah, I got some good vibes from these last two. So I'll just leave
Yep.
it at that.
So for anyone who's not familiar with the teasers, they've released 4 teasers. I don't even know if they released the last one officially, but
I
we've
mean,
all
they
seen it.
haven't released the last one officially,
I've seen it too.
but I'm talking
Um,
about it regardless. Because I
I
know
mean,
Marvel did it. Can
I
we
feel
just
like
agree?
Marvel leaked it. Marvel
Yeah,
leaked it.
Marvel did it. Come on.
Yeah. And so the idea was they're supposed to all play one per week for 4 weeks in front of Avatar. Now, I went to see Avatar and I did not see any of these teasers. I
Are
didn't
you
see it in
serious?
IMAX though,
You
so
didn't see
maybe
any?
it's an IMAX only thing, I don't
Oh
know.
wow. Okay. Okay.
I realized like halfway through Avatar, like I was just sitting in the middle of the movie like, "Wait a minute, where was my Doomsday teaser?" But the 4 teasers were the first one was Steve Rogers, so we see him, after the Endgame, we saw him that he went to this alternate timeline where he and Peggy got to live out their life, and we see him with an infant son, and then there's something about it seems like there's a lot of children in peril going on, and this is why I worry they're gonna skip the champions and then just do like a
Mm,
kid generation because there's a lot of focus on young kids, including the second
yeah.
one, Thor. The last Thor movie ended up with him adopting this sort of cosmic child called Love, who's played by Chris Hemsworth's real daughter, which is adorable. But um, yeah, so that played into the second one. The third one is definitely one that got people more excited. So those two were looking back. The third one it was looking back, but also looking forward because it's X Men. But we're talking the '90s X Men. We thought that we were killing them off with Deadpool versus Wolverine. No, no, no. Here we
I
go.
still think it's about kids. Because
Yeah,
I think that Cyclops yell, somebody took my kid.
yeah. And then I think the last one, the reason also, as you were saying, why you responded to the last one is they remembered like, oh, people love these Avengers movies because they're team up movies. So they showed
Yes.
the Wakandans, the Talokan, and the Fantastic Four, or specifically Ben, together. So that's
Yes.
like, oh yes, they're going to be interacting. This is what we want from an Avengers movie. Yeah, there's definite, yeah, themes of loss throughout. Definitely hollow aching. I Do you think this movie's gonna have a happy ending? I guess Infinity War
No,
didn't have a happy ending.
no,
This is
no.
basically like the Infinity War of this saga.
I mean, the happy ending is Secret Wars.
Mhm. And by
There's
happy, it's
no,
like most people are dead, but some survived. Yay.
the happy ending will be Secret Wars when they reset the universe, which is what I'm
Mhm.
expecting. I'm
Mhm.
expecting them to reset the universe at the end of Secret Wars to usher
Right.
in the new age of Marvel movies, Marvel characters, or whatever. But
Mhm.
Doomsday, you might as well bring your tissue paper,
Yeah.
bring your
Yeah.
handkerchiefs.
Yeah.
There's gonna be some crying in them theaters. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah.
There's gonna be some tears.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I guess I'm worried for any characters featured in this because, like, is this the end of Thor? Good chance. This Thor, at least.
There's gonna be some tears.
Yeah.
Gonna be some tears. Gonna be some crying.
I mean, Steve Rogers honestly is amazing. He's back again, so I'm not surprised or saddened that he's going to go again because it means nothing. But yeah, so these, how are we feeling about these? Are directed by the Russo brothers, who directed, Infinity War and Endgame, obviously two of the biggest movies ever. And they have one of the writers of those movies back, Stephen McFeely, but he's not with his usual writing partner this time. Instead, they have a second writer, Michael Waldron, who obviously Loki creator and has done a lot of great things we love. How are we feeling about this team, given the movies I suppose the Russo brothers have released since?
Um, I was heartened by Waldron's inclusion,
Yeah.
quite honestly, because he's a great
Yeah.
writer. as evidenced by the Loki series.
Hmm.
So that gave me heart. That bolstered my belief that they can actually do this.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say I don't have the greatest of faith in the Russo brothers, but and I don't necessarily think with Infinity War and Endgame that the writing was it wasn't like great writing in the sense of Thunderbolts was, where I felt like it really hit emotional truths and things like that. It was
Hmm.
we were there for the spectacle and for the character stories. And just with the fact that the characters are so disjointed now, um, I just really hope that they
I,
pull through on that front.
I think there are moments in both Endgame and Infinity War that are monumental in movie period. I think
Right, of course, yeah.
I think so if they get, you know, some of that into these two films, they'll be outrageously successful. Both, commercially and as well as for us who are watching them. We'll feel good about them. Because I still watch when Black Panther comes out, you know, and he's standing in front of the force field and he chants Bombay. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And that still gives me chills. Like I have chills thinking about it right now. And I still watch On Your Left.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And
It was
I'm
great moments, yeah.
getting chills thinking about it now. So I think if they provide that in these two movies, then not only will they be commercially successful, I think they'll be successful with the audience
Right.
because those are the things that we do remember.
Yeah. I mean, I want it to be more than just like a Deadpool and Wolverine collection of great moments. Um, but I have, I have every reason to
Be doubtful.
well, also, but I have every reason to believe that they are considering the character impact and things like that. Now, whether some of my favorite characters will be remembered of that, I am absolutely doubtful for good reason.
Right.
But
Right.
given the characters they presented, we know that we're getting. If it's probably best, honestly, that they just focus on. I don't know. Still already like 20 names for Doomsday or something, so it's a lot. So I just hope, yeah, they deliver a good story with that. Okay. So let's turn our attention to the DCU side of things, and this is still Chapter 1. Gods and Monsters are just taking their time. They haven't even announced what Chapter 2 is going to be called yet or when it will begin. So this is all Chapter 1. We're still getting the party started over there, and we also on that side have two movies coming out this year. We have we have Supergirl in on June 26th, and we have Clayface on September 11th. Now, let's begin with I think you are more excited for the first one, Supergirl,
Yes,
based
absolutely.
on the Woman of Tomorrow graphic novel.
Yeah, that's just an amazing comic. Um, and I think I I watched the trailer and
Mhm.
was immediately like, oh shit, yeah, I can't wait for this. Like, yeah, I cannot wait to watch this. And I just feel like this is going to be one fun ass movie. It's going
Mhm.
to be really fun. And I think Supergirl, the just the character, we haven't really seen, right? And this is opening up the DCU to show us characters that have been underused or not used at all on the big screen. And it's long overdue. It's long overdue because on the TV, on the animated side of the TV shows, we get that. But on the big screen, this is long overdue. So I'm really excited for this movie because I think the character deserves the spotlight.
Yeah. Yeah, it looking at the trailer, it does look like, and we've also heard reports that it follows this Woman of Tomorrow graphic novel or series, I suppose, more closely than these movies usually do follow their source material. Like it
Yeah,
looks
because
like
the
they're
source
really
material is just so damn good.
yeah. They're just like, let's just use that plot and maybe, and add Lobo, basically, is what it looks like to me. So we have a good idea of what we're getting in this one. This one's going to be directed by Craig Gillespie, who I think is great, and written by Anna Nogueira. Oh, Nogueira. I'm sorry, I'm probably butchering her last name, but she is an actress who I've noticed. I think James Gunn has seen her writing and believes in her. Her background is mostly acting, but she is now um, being made one of the major writers of this DCU. And her name will come up in a couple other capacities here, but she wrote this. Um, and so, yeah, I'm excited about that team, but we're going to be off planet. So I think I don't like if we don't see Superman at all, I'm fine with that. If we do, I think it will and should only be a, sort of first scene, last scene situation
Yeah, definitely.
because
Definitely.
most of it, he's
This
not
should be
around for
her
the story.
story.
Yeah. Hmm.
This should be really her story. This is her story. And to
Yeah.
have, soups in it will take away from it being her story.
Right. Yeah. And so we have like the comic, we have a creme of the Yellow Hills sort of gangster figure in a way, played by Matthias Schoenaerts. And Eve Ridley is playing Ruthie Mari Knoll or Knoll, who is a young girl who she meets. Supergirl, basically. We got a tease for this at the end of Superman, where she's like, I like to go to a planet with a red sun because the yellow sun makes her metabolize alcohol too quickly, so she can't get drunk. And so she goes to other planets with red suns to drink so that she can actually feel the effects. And why does she want to feel the effects? Because, well, why? What's her tragic backstory in brief, Jean? What are we going
What
to see in
is?
this movie, do you think?
I mean, her entire culture, family, planet being destroyed, and her
Yeah.
witnessing it and having that
And
living
then,
memory, whereas Superman does not.
yeah, because then there's also,
And then being adrift for God knows how
yeah,
long.
yeah. It looks like they're going to take the comics backstory where a portion of Krypton was preserved and drifted through space, like sort of dying. And so we know David Krumholtz is going to play her father, Zor-El. Emily Beecham's going to play Allura Inzi, her mother. So we're definitely going to see her childhood. And this is anyone who watched the Supergirl movie from the 80s, which I will hear no disparaging remarks about. Um, it did also include this part as well. So we're going to see that. But what if this city was protected by more than just cellophane plastic wrap?
That's
Still a
funny.
brilliant movie.
That's,
I watched that over and over growing up.
yes,
So
we
I'm
can
excited
tell.
about this one. Yeah.
So,
Oh
yeah,
man, I'm so into that
we're
movie.
excited about this. We're excited about this
Yeah.
movie.
And then Jason Momoa is going to show up. No longer Aquaman. He has the casting everyone always wanted him to have. He is now Lobo,
Absolutely.
an alien mercenary and bounty hunter from the utopian planet of Sarnia, which sounds like Narnia. But anyway, um, since I'm not a DC comic reader yet much, I'm not as familiar with Lobo. What are your feelings on this character?
He's a bad. Shut your mouth. He's an anti-hero. He's a badass. He's a Superman foil. He basically can't die, actually. And so
Okay.
he's like Wolverine on steroids.
Hmm.
Like think of the character Wolverine and put Lobo and have him being able to breathe in outer space and fly and have the strength equivalent of Superman. And that's who you have. That's who you have.
All right. So we've got Supergirl and her new alien friend, and versus
Oh, and he has a
Chris.
motorcycle. He has a space
Prem
cycle.
and Lobo. Okay.
Lobo.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, he has a
Hmm.
space cycle. Forgot about that.
So this is going to be an intergalactic space opera
It is. It's
adventure.
gonna be. It's
Yeah.
gonna be something. It's gonna be something special. I think.
Yeah. And then later in the year, September 11th, we get a movie I think I'm more excited about than you are, and that is
Yes.
Clayface, which is directed by James Watkins, a noted horror director. It was the screenplay was by Mike Flanagan and Hussein Almini, and basically Mike Flanagan, who I'm a big fan of, he is the one who made this happen. He brought forward. He's like, I have this story idea. He went to James Gunn. He just really pitched it, spec style almost, and wrote this script. And that's how it got started. But then he's too busy adapting every book that Stephen King's ever written, so he wasn't available to direct it. So they brought James Watkins on board to direct. And then James Watkins, like, okay, I'm going to have Hussein Amini take another pass at it. And Amini is best known for writing, for example, the screenplay of the movie Drive with Ryan Gosling, which was great.
Yeah, that was a good
So
movie.
this has got a real horror thriller pedigree going on. So I'm very intrigued about this personally. We have a young up and coming actor, Thomas Rhys Harries, is going to be starring as Clayface, aka Matt Hagen, who he's an actor whose face is disfigured. So he turns to a scientist, a Dr. Caitlin Bates, played by Naomi Aki, and oh yeah, for help to and she transforms his body into clay. So it's his origin story, more or less. And also Max Minghella is in it, who he plays a Gotham City police detective who's dating Bates. And people probably know him best from Handmaid's Tale. He's, June's eye boo. If you know what that means, you know what that means. But why you were more reluctant about this one? Why is that?
Because I'm just not a Clayface
Mm,
enthusiast. Nothing that I saw in Creature Commandos made me one, turned me into
mm.
one. Um,
This is a different take.
yeah,
Yeah.
it is. It is, and he's part of Batman's rogues gallery. Um, so I really don't. I don't see. I've never envisioned Clayface as a character unto himself, right?
Mhm.
So it's not something that I thought that I wanted. And up to now, I still don't think that I want it. I'll watch
Mhm.
it, definitely. I'll be seated. And I'm hoping that, it turns out well. But there's not much to the character that I know of that makes me think that it needed a movie.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, for me, that like I didn't think that Peacemaker needed to exist, and now I'm
Neither
so
did
glad
I.
that it did. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
s- so that doesn't deter me. I am, I suppose, more interested in Clayface than you. He's a character that's been portrayed. Was the Creature Commandos version was kind of whatever. Blink and you'll miss it. Also voiced by Alan Tudyk, but they're not bringing him in to play it here. They've decided to go younger with this origin story. But the reason that I'm excited about this is purely the pedigree of the people who are making it.
That's
And I
fair. That's
think
fair.
they would not be making this film if it weren't something exciting and interesting and bringing to the table the things that these specific people can bring to the
Can do.
table.
That's fair.
So I think that's why I'm most excited for it.
Okay.
And I love horror. So here we are. Superhero horror? Yes, please. All right. So that's the movies for the year. So that means in the left corner, we have MCU, Spider Man, Brand New Day, and Avengers Doomsday versus on the right side of the ring, DCU with Supergirl and Clayface. Which pair are you more excited for, Jean?
Wow. Yeah. It, it's Marvel. It's
Okay.
Marvel.
All right.
Marvel's the
This
winner
is
here.
This is our
And
first.
this
Yeah.
is someone. I'm saying this as someone who
Mm-hmm.
is
Is pro DC.
unapologetic. I
Mm-hmm.
am unapologetic about how much I love that Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow comic.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the best stories that I've read last 10 years. But it's Marvel.
All right. Well, this is where we're not going to agree on this one. For me, it's DC. I'm with DC on this one. I just am uniquely excited for both Supergirl and Clayface for different reasons. In a way that of course, I'm going to show up for Spider-Man and Avengers Doomsday, and I can't wait to see what they come out of it. But Supergirl and Clayface, I'm really like, ooh, that's I don't know. I feel like they're going to give me something fresher,
Something
something, yeah.
that's a great look. That's a great take. But I just feel like Doomsday is inevitable.
Yeah.
I think that movie.
Doomsday is going to win the box office.
No, not just from the box office
Yeah.
standpoint. I just think that movie has the potential for the story to be something really, really great, because I'm thinking of the story as well, not just the spectacle. Like, this is the end, like really the end. And when you can say that this is the end, and you know, like, in a way, this is going to usher in something new, if done well, it's a game changer for me. And I think that, I think Doomsday has a lot of pressure on it. A lot. And I think that's part of the reason why, I'm more siding with Marvel in this battle here, because the pressure is on Doomsday.
Yeah.
They have to deliver.
I hear you. I hear you. Okay. So that means, as it stands now, DCU has 3 points, 1 from you, 2 from me, and MCU has 1 point. But will the TV side change everything? We shall find out after a quick break. Okay, and welcome back. It is time to talk 2026 TV, MCU versus DCU, starting with Marvel.
I mean, let's start with the DC. Because
you want to start the DC? Okay, there's only one show on the DC.
I think this is not even a fair right now. This is not.
What you mean? Poor Lanterns is getting ganged up on?
Yeah, it's like me going up against Mike Tyson. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's why I was going to say give Lanterns that's why I was going to give Lanterns the recency bias.
It's not fair.
I was going to talk about that one last so that it got special attention.
It's like
but okay, let's start there.
Tommy Hearns, man. This is not fair. This is not.
All right, let's talk DCU. So far, one show announced. That doesn't mean there aren't more coming. We know that everyone's holding their cards closer to their chest. Neither Marvel nor DC made any major announcements at Comic-Con this year. Like, it is a different age they just don't want to announce things until they're actually happening because of all the backlash, I think. They don't want another Blade situation. We'll get to that. But so we know of one TV show this year. And what is it, Sean, for the DCU?
It's Lanterns. Sometime in the mid 2026, 8 episodes, hopefully weekly. The showrunner is Chris Mundy, better known for Ozark, True Detective, Criminal Minds. Co-creators is Lindelof and Tom King. Tom King's
so
a
you
great,
love your big
Lindelof
fan. Lost doesn't do it for you.
Not at the end, it didn't. I'll just say that. So we get 2 Green Lanterns, Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan, respectively, played by Kyle Chandler and Aaron Pierre. The Green Lanterns are like the police force of the galaxy of the
Mm-hmm.
DC universe. If you are a Marvel head, then you know there is a police force, a cosmic police force in the MCU. If you watch Marvel Zombies. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes, we all watched Marvel Zombies, and we saw the Xandar's um, intergalactic police keeping
Mm-hmm.
peacekeeping force, keeping Earth
The
isolated from
Nova
the rest
Corps.
of the Nova Corps,
Yeah.
keeping Earth isolated. So the Green Lanterns operate in much the same way. There's a Green Lantern or two for every sector of the universe, um, and they have one weapon, a ring, powered by your willpower. Um, and this show made my number one most anticipated show for 2026.
Yeah. I heard
I
you
am
say that.
most looking forward to watching this show because I think the dynamic between Hal and John has the potential to be awesome. Because you have two very distinct personalities so far apart in the way they see the world and how they do their superheroing. It's going to be really interesting to watch them interact with each other to try to solve whatever they're trying to solve. And it be totally not spacefaring so far, as far as we know, but really grounded in a way that I think I'm going to enjoy. So, yeah, Nathan Fillion, excuse me, is back as Guy Gardner.
He's been
We have,
delightful thus far.
yeah,
We saw him
so
in
far
Superman. We saw him in Peacemaker. Yeah.
the bowl cut is back.
Yeah. And I don't, yeah,
Kelly,
I'm
go
digging
ahead.
this like this Fargo vibe kind of with the murder mystery in
Yeah,
Nebraska. It, I'm very it's going to rely a lot on Kyle Chandler and Aaron Pierre. And that actually kind of excites me because I think that they can handle it, and I'm very interested to see. I think that they were well cast in the way that I perceive them as representing the personalities of their characters, and to see those two interact is going to be amusing, I think.
yeah, yeah. We have Kelly McDonald starring as Kerry, who's a sheriff in the town. You have Jason Ritter playing her husband, Billy Macon. Sinestro is supposed to be a big bad.
I
So
love
bad.
Kelly McDonald and Jason Ritter, so
Okay,
I'm looking forward
on
to
board.
that. I don't really know much about Sinestro. I've heard the name. Do you know more?
Yeah, he's Hal Jordan's chief nemesis,
Hmm.
arch rival, arch villain, top of the Rose Gallery for Hal Jordan. Um, one of the greatest Green Lanterns who ever existed, who um, turned away from willpower and now uses fear to power his ring.
Okay. Oh wow. Okay. So he's got kind of like a red coloring going on instead of the green, right?
No, Sinestro,
No.
yellow.
Oh, yellow. Sorry, my bad. Oh, I see. I just clicked through to a picture. Okay. Oh, he's got red skin though. I
Yes,
see.
yes,
That's
he's
where
an
I was
alien.
confusing in my head.
He's not a Earth person.
Right. Okay. And there's also a character apparently called Anton who's an extraterrestrial devoted to exposing the truth and exacting vengeance. Um is this a new character or is this someone from the comics that you know of?
I don't know of this character, and
Okay.
I will get back to you on that.
I thought it was interesting that the way it was in the like I was looking up obviously the cast and the way it was in the cast, it wasn't linked to I don't know. I think it might be a new character was the impression that I got basically. But yeah,
Yeah,
this should be a fun show. I mean, we'll definitely be covering it in some capacity. We'll have to. So far, all we've heard, as you said, is like mid 2026, whatever that means. So we'll have to see how everything shakes out with that. But I know you're super excited about it. I'm definitely
I am.
excited about it.
I am. This is what I'm looking forward to. I think how and you know John Stewart, man, those two of my favorite, Justice Leaguers, and I'm excited to have them on screen. Yeah.
Yeah. And but before that, very, very soon, actually just like, I don't know, a week from now, um, there's something else that you and I are both excited about. You were not excited
Yes.
about it at first, but you've come around.
No, I wasn't. I wasn't. I have to admit it. I will
Wonder
admit it.
Man, January 27th, 8 episode, unfortunately a binge drop. So it'll be a one-shot coverage from us at the start of February. But we've been just like loving the marketing. And thank you again to
Amazing.
Sub-Zero who signed up for the marketing text because they've been every single one of them gold. But yeah, I love this. It's a spoof of the entertainment industry and of superhero movie making. So I would say fans of this was actually made before, like Kevin Feige's like, we made this before the studio and the franchise, but now we're releasing it third. I'm like, well, whose fault is that? But anyway, it looks from my perspective, it could be the greatest of the bunch just based on the marketing, but we'll see how it pans out.
Oh, fingers are crossed on that one.
Yeah.
Fingers
But
are
we've
crossed.
But we've got Ben Kingsley back as Trevor Slattery, who was first introduced in the Iron Man movies as the Mandarin until they're like, you can't have this actor be. And then so they're like, no, actually, Trevor Slattery is an actor who is hired to pretend to be the Mandarin. And then he showed up in Shang-Chi, was one of the best parts of that movie. And now he's back, and it seems like it's kind of like an odd couple team up with him and Simon Williams, Wonder Man himself, played by Yahya Abdul Mateen II. And he's like the superpowered straight man. And I don't mean his sexual orientation, but his, like, we were worried how we don't know this as a comedic actor. But then we saw him with Ed Harris is playing his agent, and they were at, what was it, like the Emmys or something?
Yeah.
And they were just playing in character. And yeah, that's like Simon Williams is going to be the straight man with all the comedians around him. And I think that works really well from what we've seen.
From what we've seen so far, this
Yeah.
looks to be like it's going to be a whole lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I can't wait. I can't wait.
We've also got Zlatko Buric, who played the president of Boravia in Superman.
The
He
late
is
president.
the late president. Spoilers. We warned you. He's playing Van Kovac, who's like a celebrated and reclusive director who's directing the Wonder Man remake. And I just, as like a film nerd myself, I can just think of exactly which directors they might be spoofing. We'll talk about it in our coverage, but this is going to be a lot of fun. And for the comic nerds, we have Eric Williams, which is Wonder Man's brother. He's going to be played by Demetrius Gross, and AKA the Grim Reaper. Now they have him listed in the notes as Simon's quote unquote quotes included stable older brother who works in insurance.
I'm not buying it, but we'll see what happens.
Codename Grim Reaper, sure. Yeah, everything's great with
He's a villain in the comic books.
yeah.
Yeah.
And speaking of someone who toes the line, we have Arian Moayed.
Yeah.
He's back as
he's
the
back.
Agent Cleary from the Department of Damage Control. We saw him in Ms. Marvel. We saw him in Spider-Man, is that correct? He's popped up a
He's
few
in
places.
Spider-Man. He was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was he in the Marvel, Miss Marvel, or the Marvels?
I don't think so, because that was more cosmic.
No, there was a DODC that came in.
Okay. Oh, I gotta
No, I
rewatch
don't
that
remember
one.
if it
I
was
need to
him.
rewatch that before Doomsday. I hope that they're tying that whole credit scene into the Doomsday plot. We didn't talk
Right,
about
when they
that. But
came. He might have
yeah.
been in the series. I think he was in the series.
Yeah. Doomsday has
No.
to carry the weight of a lot of credit scenes.
A lot. I'm telling you this, so there's a lot of pressure on Doomsday.
There is, and that's why I'm nervous. But yeah, in Wonder Man, there's also, I had to write this down because apparently there's going to be a character called the Doorman. Now, this is not what I heard of. Well, it's not a character that I've heard of, but the thing that made it stand out to me was Planet Money, the economics podcast. They did a deep dive into superheroes. And so they decided, and when they do these sorts of things, they decide, like, okay, we're going to purchase the rights to a superhero ourselves and do a comic book ourselves and just, learn about the business that way and share it, and did a whole series on it. And the
No,
first
okay.
one that they went for was
It was Doorman?
codename was Doorman, but it's got to be a different one because apparently this version popped up in the late 80s, and I think they
Yeah.
were going, I don't know if it's the same, but anyway, Marvel said no. And they were like, okay, well, apparently even like Marvel won't even give up the lesser superheroes because they might want to use them someday. And here we have Doorman.
They're actually using him.
Yeah,
That's
Marvel's actually
hilarious.
using them. So they went with Microface at Planet Money, but
That's funny.
interesting. Yeah. But so Wonder Man, definitely, we're both bummed. It's a binge drop,
We are.
but definitely looking forward to watching and talking about it.
So next they have scheduled for March 4th, Daredevil Born Again, season 2. I mean, you said the most important thing. We get a season with one set of showrunners doing their entire vision, and from episode 1 through episode 8. So the disjointed nature of last season will hopefully not be there, as they
Yeah.
tell one coherent story. It's one coherent vision. And yeah, this is I'm looking forward to this as well, and I think it's going to be, super violent and lots of action and lots of fun.
Yeah. Yeah, so the showrunners Dario Scartapane, and then the lead directors for this entire season this time is Benson and Moorhead, and they have a background in indie sci-fi horror, and they also worked on like Moon Knight, and yeah, they do a lot of like darker, moodier things, but they do that very well with very interesting cinematography. So I am excited about all of that. Well, it starts March 4th. I'm guessing it's going to be weekly. This is a big show for them, I think.
Yes, it is.
Probably we'll do it again every 2 to 3 episode coverage. I guess we'll, like I said, we'll see how it shakes out once we find out when things are actually getting released. But what's
After
the most
that,
exciting? What's the most exciting thing
Oh.
about?
you tell me.
Not only is the entire cast returning, of course, from season 1, but Kristen Ritter is back as Jessica Jones.
Yes. Can we get Luke Cage?
It's got to be coming shortly. Come on, give us Luke Cage. I'll even
we
take
get
Danny
Luke
Rand
Cage?
as long as there's a Colleen Wing with him.
Let's not get outrageous.
Well, Colleen Wing was the Iron Fist at the end of. So we're talking about the Netflix Marvel universe for anyone who we lost there. But everyone generally agrees Daredevil, Jessica Jones, top shows, Luke Cage, really strong show, Iron Fist, not so much. But Iron Fist and Luke Cage can make an interesting duo together. And we got some teases of that, so I would like more of that. Yeah. But we know Daredevil, like, not only do we have a cohesive second season, but we know that they've already confirmed and are actively developing the third season, which is anticipated to come just 1 year later again, March 2027.
And
So
it better tie into Doomsday.
Yeah. I hope
or we
so.
riot again.
But we're getting every year, we're getting a new season of this. This is becoming a rare, blessed thing in this modern landscape.
Yeah, that is true.
Plus, we get this year, we don't know when, sometime, maybe mid-year. We don't know if it's going to be before or after Daredevil Born Again, but one of the characters from that universe, the Punisher, gets his very own special. So this is probably like one 50-minute episode situation like we've seen from specials like Werewolf by Night or the Guardians Holiday Special. So yeah, I'm no idea what that's going to be about or how it ties with what, because we know obviously he's in Daredevil, but also he's going to be showing up in Spider-Man. So could it bridge those two things?
Mm, I don't know.
I
I don't know.
don't know. I don't. They probably can't legally put Tom Holland on TV
Right,
because of
and
Sony.
Frank Castle just he's everywhere. So
He's everywhere.
doesn't they don't have to link the show and the movie because Frank Castle just goes wherever he goes and kills people. So
Mm. I just had like the Roy Kent thing from Ted Lasso going through my head. He's there. He's here. He's there. He's everywhere. Anyway,
that's funny. But
so
literally,
so,
that's what Frank Castle is.
but with a gun, not a football.
A couple of guns, just a couple of
Yeah,
guns.
just a little light gun packing. Um, Okay, and that brings us to the last major TV show of the year, last major live action main MCU TV show of the year. The one that I'm personally most excited for, yeah, unsurprisingly, it's booked for late 2026, probably starting in December or maybe sooner. I don't know. They're being coy about that. So hopefully it's going to be a weekly drop. And that is Vision Quest, which is
Yes,
said to complete the Wanda and Agatha trilogy. So we got Wanda, Vision, we got Agatha all along, and now we're getting Vision Quest. Now, that doesn't mean that Wanda and Agatha are coming back. I wouldn't expect either of them. But we do know that Billy, aka Wiccan, is back. And this time he's got watch the end of Agatha all along, but he's got his twin brother also rescued from death and put in another body, Tommy, played by Rory Mollica, who did you see the thing where actually the actors who play Billy and Tommy happened to be in a play together where they were playing romantic interest with each other, like kissy kissy. And then
yes,
they did a TikTok. They're like, when you find out that your love interest is actually your twin brother.
that's terrible. God.
But you also like I know you were into the comics that I assume this is most based on. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, it's well, it's Vision and his family
Mhm.
basically.
A
And
new
so,
family,
yeah,
not
his
Wanda.
found family, not Wanda,
Mhm.
his found family, and I think that's and raising his children, which was really interesting, take on the character because he's mostly been, portrayed opposite human beings, and now he's opposite these other sentient AIs who are his children, and he's bringing them up in the world, and Viz, his daughter, actually becomes a member of the champions, who
Mhm.
interacts with Miss Marvel and Miles Morales and all of the younger Kate Bishop, all the younger next gen heroes from Marvel Comics, which was cool.
Yeah, and we know that there is going to be this important other AI character, Jocasta, is going to be showing up, played by Tania Miller. Um, and we have lots of like basically all of Tony Stark's various AIs are coming back. We have Friday, we have Jarvis, we have Edith. It's a who's who of Marvel AI, including we have James Spader back as Ultron. Are you excited to see Ultron back?
I'm more excited for Jocasta, but
Fair.
actually, Spader's Ultron was to me great. That he was the best part of that movie. Um, so I'm super excited to hear his voice back, to have his voice back in the MCU because I thought he was just wonderful as Ultron on live action. He was just wonderful.
Yeah. I'm very curious about what exactly the story is going to be because we have like the hints of, Vision and found family from the comic books. We have, the Jocasta of it all. We have all of these other obviously there's going to be some sort of AI convention with Jocasta and Jarvis and all of the rest. But then we also have the human sons showing back. Presumably, we left off with White Vision, is where he was devoid of color and devoid of. He had his memories, but not his emotions attached to those memories. So presumably. the boys are going to be helping him find his personality again.
Right.
And then we also have on top of that, we have there's reports that we're going to get some references to the Ten Rings faction that kidnapped Stark and Iron Man. So I guess this goes together with the whole AI situation. But I'm just curious what the scope and tone of the show is going to be. This is the first one in this quote unquote trilogy that's not being done by Jack Schaefer. So it's a real question mark for me, but an intriguing one.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm looking forward to this TV show. Actually, I
Yeah.
think tying the bow around that storyline makes a lot of sense. And even if we don't get to see Wanda or Agatha, maybe fingers crossed, they'll surprise
Hmm.
us. But even if we
Yeah.
don't get them in the series, I think this is a story that needs to be told in order to wrap it up.
Right. Yeah, I'm very excited that Billy and Tommy are there. I'm excited to have the continuation of Vision's story because obviously he didn't play a role in Agatha. I feel like if Tommy's there, maybe Agatha has to at least pop up. I'm not counting on Wanda, but maybe it'll end with being like, okay, now let's go find mom.
Right, right, right.
So I would say it going into like before we saw the Wonder Man marketing, Vision
Hmm.
Quest was easily my most anticipated. Now I'm probably just most excited about Wonder Man because it's like next week already, and we're actually getting a
Right,
taste of what it is. I'm
right,
like, oh,
right,
this looks
right,
potentially quite
right.
good. So but not to shortchange that we will be getting a couple season 2 of animated shows this year. We already talked about Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Season 2 is allegedly coming back in quote unquote late 2026 with 10 episodes. So I imagine we'll want to do a one shot again once those come
Yeah,
out.
definitely.
And season 3 is already confirmed. So yay for that. And likely mid 2026, they're saying season 2 of X-Men 97.
Yep, yep.
I mean,
I
that
mean,
was
season one is going to be
hit
something to
hard.
follow.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, looking forward to this. Definitely, definitely looking forward to this one.
So we'll see if it's hitting like season 1 is, we may end up doing more than a one shot for that. We'll see how it
Yeah,
pans out with this
yeah.
whole mysterious mid 2026 thing again. So we'll see how crowded that mid 2026 gets. But maybe even John wants to come in because he jumped in last time. He got
Yeah,
so
he
into
did.
it.
He did. So
Yeah.
hopefully that would be cool.
Mhm. So excited for both of those. And then this is technically, it shouldn't really, I guess, count toward Marvel's total because this is actually a Sony Spider-Verse thing. But we are getting this year Spider Noir, a live action version of with Nicolas Cage playing the character that was introduced in the Spider-Verse movies. It's going to be 8 episodes sometime in 2026. The cast looks great beyond that. We've got Lamorne Morris, we've got Brendan Gleeson, we've got Lee Jun Lee, who we just recently saw in Sinners. Shout out to Sinners. And Jack Houston, who, Angelica Houston's son, but also people might know him from Mayfair Witches as Lasher. So the cast is like, and the tone, I love a noir. The humor
Yeah,
looks fun. I have a soft spot for Nicolas Cage. I'm very in for Spider Noir.
yeah. I mean, he's totally gonna
Go all the
like
way.
he's gonna
He's gonna commit to the hell to
he's
death.
gonna commit. He's gonna commit.
I mean, but I would say like with all of these actors, like Lamorne Morris, he's what's he from New Girls? Probably people know him the most, or Brendan Gleeson, who
No, it's a great
nominated
cast.
for. Yeah,
It's a great
it's
cast.
incredible. Yeah, yeah. So okay, so here it comes down to the TV. In the one corner, we have on the DC side, Lanterns, Jean's most anticipated TV show of the year overall, even outside of the superhero genre. On the other side, we have in the Marvel corner, Wonder Man, Daredevil Born Again Season 2, Vision Quest, an animated series, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider Man, and X Men 97. I said let's not count Spider Noir here, but still, those two head to head. What are you most excited for?
I mean, like I said, it's like this is Marvel. This is Marvel.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Marvel is just did a knockout punch, but I
Yeah.
don't blame. It's more of a matter of problem of our metrics or pitting them head to head. Like, not everything needs to be pitted head to head, except on podcasts
No,
for fun.
everything has to.
Yeah.
It's the only way
Um,
to live.
but yeah, I have to applaud DC for taking a more cautious approach, especially in these early days. And I think I would honestly be surprised if they didn't surprise us with at least one other show, like Creature
Yeah,
Commando
definitely. I
season
agree.
2. Yeah, might just
I
pop
agree.
up or something like that. So yeah,
I think they were
okay,
also talking about a Blue Beetle animated show.
right, right, yeah. What's up with that? All right. Well, we're going to speculate on what might be coming in both of these. The way it stands now is DC and Marvel are tied with 3 points each. So let's see if our consideration of future factors play a role in that after a quick break. Okay, so we're going to look at what is on the docket for the two of these, what's been announced more or less. It is likely some of these won't happen. It's likely that others who are not even on our radar yet will slip in. I realized I didn't even write down, for example, Creature Commando Season 2. No idea if that's coming back this year, or the Blue Beetle one, because we just haven't heard anything about it for a
Right.
while. So just take this for what it's worth. Here are some teases. Which do you want to start with this time?
We could start with the MCU. Um,
All right.
so
What do
Secret
you
War,
most
Avengers Secret
yeah.
Wars, right? On
Mhm.
27, December 27. Um, they haven't announced any other movies so far for 27, right? I don't think.
No. Yeah,
Okay.
but
So,
maybe. Yeah.
right. So we're hearing rumors of a Shang-Chi sequel, um,
Mhm.
possible sequel to Fantastic Four First
Yeah.
Steps. We've heard rumors of Armor Wars. We've heard rumors of Blade being resurrected from the dead. Um, and
Yeah,
go
and we
ahead.
don't even know anything about TV. Like, they're not saying,
Right.
they're really keeping their cards close to their chest. So, like, the reason we know Armor Wars and Blade is because they were announced ages ago, and they're
Before,
every
yes,
time they're brought up, it's they're not saying they're dead yet. They're just like, well, they just need more development. So,
with
you know,
yeah. So let's see
or
about
like the
those things.
champions or all these other things. Yeah. And so so we know the multiverse saga ends December 17th, 2027 with Avengers Secret Wars, but we do have what's coming up in 2028 and beyond then.
Then Ryan Coogler has said that he's doing Black Panther 3
Mhm.
um, with Damson Idris as the child.
He did not announce that part. Do not tell people that. But in Sean's heart, that will always be the case, no matter what the reality is.
And potentially Denzel Washington.
But Denzel
Right,
Washington, that is confirmed.
right. Um,
What do
then
you think Denzel Washington's gonna play? Like a villain or an ally? I kind of want him as a villain.
I don't know. It's Denzel.
Yeah,
Like,
he'd be a great villain.
do whatever you want to do, brother.
Yeah,
You know
that's
what I'm
true.
saying? That's it. Um, Potentially a X-Men film, right?
Yeah. So I'm
And
excited about the X-Men
who's
film
writing?
because
Jack Schreier, yeah, the
Jake
director.
Schreier,
Jake
who
Schreier
did Jake Schreier, the director of Thunderbolts, is apparently currently attached to
to the X-Men
direct this
film.
new X-Men
Hmm.
film. So that has me excited because, like I said, this X-Men story, it's a story about finding your place in the world, and it's a story about mental health, and it's something that takes a certain diligence and delicacy. And
Yeah,
I think Jack Schreier, um
captured that in Thunderbolts.
yeah, and Michael Leslie is the one who's writing it. I'm
Okay,
less familiar with him, but if Jake Schreier wants to work with him, I will. He co-wrote the Hunger Games Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Yeah, I'm less familiar with him, but I'm excited, cautiously optimistic about this. And then 2 more Spider films, as we said.
Right.
Not to mention Beyond the
Beyond the
Spider-Verse,
Spider-Verse,
again, its own thing, 2027, June 24th, June 4th,
2027.
2027 is the latest reporting as of our recording. It's been pushed a few times, which I don't blame them for. Please give the
Yeah,
animators
do
more
it
time
right.
and let them sleep and stuff.
Exactly. And pay them well. Do it right.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so that's roughly what we've got going on the Marvel side. Now on the DC side, we already teased one. What's the
Yeah,
one
so we
movie we
have on July 9th, 2027, we have Soup's Superman, Man of Tomorrow. That's coming directly.
Mhm.
Um,
James Gunn back in the director's seat?
Potentially it's done. It's the band is back together plus Peacemaker. So
Yeah, it seems like it's gonna pick up the Peacemaker story, so I'm excited about that.
yeah, so I'm looking forward to that as well. Um, and we don't know much more about what actually is happening. We have a lot of things being bandied about. The Brave and the Bold. Um, that's a Batman movie. Not the Batman.
Right.
Um, a Batman movie.
Bat
Swamp Thing,
Family.
Bat Family stuff.
Yeah, and that's directed, it's, as of now, it's Andy Muschietti is attached to direct, and he is the director of the It, um, movies and the Welcome to Derry TV show, so I'm excited about that. I'm like, "Ooh, we doing a horror take, Bat Family horror take?" I'm there for that. And
Yeah,
speaking of
I
horror,
wouldn't be. I wouldn't be upset with that.
yeah,
Potentially a Swamp Thing movie with James
yeah.
Mangold. Um,
So I'm hoping James
writing.
Mangold, basically the Swamp Thing, like we're getting Clayface as our horror movie of this year for the DC. And James Mangold is basically he said he has to focus on something else, and I'm hoping that something else is the Dawn of the Jedi movie. So I'm like, yes,
No.
James
Okay.
Mangold, write your Dawn of the Jedi movie first,
Yeah,
and then
let's do
come back
that.
and do Swamp Thing because
Absolutely.
I'm a Man Thing maniac, and I would love to get into Swamp Thing as well. Future editor Elysia here, just popping in to say that this was recorded before the news about Kathleen Kennedy broke, and she gave that interview to Deadline where she talked about ongoing Star Wars projects and said that basically James Mangold had turned in a script for the Dawn of the Jedi movie, but it sounds like Bob Iger basically was too nervous about it. Another situation, didn't get it, thought it was taking too many risks. So they're just going to be focusing for now on the sequel trilogy timeline and, what's after that. So, wah wah, that's the unfortunate update there. Although apparently it's not dead, it's just on hold. And James Mangold, the stuff he's busy with right now is all related to Paramount. Okay, well, we'll see. Fingers crossed.
Okay. Okay. We have potential bandied about again Wonder Woman movie.
Mm-hmm.
Um, also have an Authority movie that we don't know if they're ever going to do.
Was it
Which
going to
is
be a
another
TV show
superhero
or,
team.
yeah?
I thought it was
Yeah.
a movie,
Maybe it was a
but I could be
movie.
wrong.
Yeah.
It's another DC superhero team that has
Yeah, it
some
was a
interesting
movie.
characters.
Hmm. We met the engineer in Superman
Yes, we did.
with the
Well,
nanoparticles in her blood.
let's see. Teen Titans film, maybe.
Hmm. Yeah,
Uh,
apparently they deprioritized the Teen Titans film because it just wasn't getting there. And a Bane and Deathstroke film that would be fun. And then also there was this whole they were fast tracking this Sergeant Rock movie directed by Luca Guadagnino, who he's did everything from Challengers to Call Me by Your Name. And Daniel Craig was going to star, but now Guadagnino and Daniel Craig are out. Colin Farrell is maybe in, but maybe it's not happening at all. Would you be excited about a
I
Sergeant
know.
Rock World
No,
War II
no,
soldier?
nope, 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 nope,
Maybe that's why they didn't go for it. I don't know.
no.
It would have been. I would have been super interested to see what Luca Guadagnino did with that, but If
Yeah,
he's out, I need to hear who the new director is before I get excited.
yeah. That's having to hear Sergeant Rock. No.
Teen Titans would be fun.
Yes,
Bane and
absolutely.
Deathstroke would be fun.
Yeah, I would be cool with those, but I never. When I heard Sergeant Rock, last year, I was just like, why? Like, who wants
Yeah.
that? Who wants
Yeah.
that?
And then, yeah,
So we have
some
the
TV
TV side,
shows. Yeah.
Booster Gold, possibly.
Will
We
you
have
have to explain what
Waller.
that is again for people who don't know what?
Oh, so Booster Gold. I'm sorry, Booster Gold is a superhero that comes from the future into the past because he wants to be a great superhero. So he's a time traveling superhero, and he comes from a future where superheroes have been made into like corporate, like they're almost like athletes. They sell all manners of sports drinks, and you know they're just the modern day athletes in his time period. But he actually wants to be a superhero. So he goes back in time into the age where he believes the superheroes were the best. And
Hmm.
he becomes a member of the Justice League, tries to prove himself in many adventures. He fails a lot of times. He fails, but he tries.
I hope that one's still happening. I know it sounds weird, but I like weird, so I'm
Yeah,
kind of
and
curious
he's
about
a,
that.
he's a, also an interesting character because he's also a jerk. So to me, at least. So
Yeah.
maybe other people don't think he is, but to me, I think he is. So we'll see.
Hmm.
There's the Waller.
Yeah, that's been like so it was going to be before Peacemaker, and then it was like, no, we're going to do Peacemaker first and rejigger it. But then it's like it feels like they're stuck on the script phase there. So I don't know if it's going to happen. Do you want it to?
Yeah, yeah. I want Viola Davis. Give her a TV show.
Hmm.
Give her eight episodes, 35, 45 minutes per episode, and
Hmm.
watch her work. I think it'll be
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would like I got excited about the idea of her and Lex Luthor having a
Yeah, I
show
think it'll be
together.
awesome. Give her
Yeah.
45 minutes each week. It's going to be awesome.
Mhm. Yeah. And Paradise Lost. Like okay.
Yeah, definitely here for that.
What do you want to explain what that is supposed to be?
It's supposed to be Themyscira is where the Amazons have been living outside of the world, and how their society has,
As in
a look
Wonder
in
Woman.
a look
Yeah.
into their society. And for those who don't know, yes, Wonder Woman is from Themyscira. She is an Amazon as well as a goddess, a demigoddess. So is she a demigod or a
Is
full god?
she I mean, are they
In
all
some
demigods in Themyscira then? All the Amazons?
no, um,
Well, we don't know what her
in
backstory is going to be in this version. Yeah.
so we don't know if they're gonna play her as a goddess or not. So we'll see.
But yeah, I think that the idea, as I heard it, was that it was sort of a prequel to Wonder Woman in a way. And I don't know if they'll keep that or if they'll keep the show. But I was excited about that, about just focusing on Themyscira.
Yeah, I think that would be great. I would love to see that.
Yeah, like before she's
And
there, even.
all the
Could be.
mythology.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. Okay, so with those on the table and all of the possibilities and directions that they could go,
Yes.
post 2026, of course, no, we have not yet seen 2026, but we're looking ahead of that now.
Yes.
Post 2026, what are you most excited about going forward? The MCU or the MCU mutant saga, we should say, or the DCU where this Gods and Monsters chapter is going to go?
I gotta go with Marvel.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I gotta go with Marvel. Just on the strength of you giving me Black Panther 3. You
That's
giving me
fair.
the X-Men. I can't. argue. I can't. Yeah, I gotta go with Marvel on this one.
Okay. I am actually going to go with DC because I wouldn't never have
You're
expected
such
that
a
going in.
contrarian.
I'm not trying to be contrarian. I'm not trying to do that. But I
You're
mean, I
such
guess
a
the thing is,
contrarian.
I am very worried about Marvel, whether there is a focused vision there, and also even more worried about them just kind of scaling back to only what they think are the most commercial characters. And I like that the DC is on the other hand like, no, let's give you the big names, Superman and Wonder Woman and all that, but let's also explore the weird and give you new names to love.
But I will say to what you just said is that
Mhm.
if we're talking X-Men, we're talking Black Panther, we're talking
Yes, these are
a
good big
potential
names.
Shang-Chi,
Mhm.
right? We're talking a potential Blade and everything that
Yeah,
entails.
I've stopped holding my
These,
breath for Blade, but I hope
I
I
we're
keep hope
hoping,
alive
we're
for
looking
it.
ahead, right? We don't know if
Yeah,
any of
yeah,
these things
yeah.
will come to fruition
No,
except for
of
the
course.
first two.
Mhm.
So I think there's, yeah, I think to your point, what you just said about what the DC universe is doing, I think Marvel is doing that as well.
Okay. Well, at the end of the day, the final tally is Marvel gets 3 points collectively and DC got 5. So DC wins. I
Look
would
at that.
never have expected that I would be a driving force in that happening.
It was you. It was you all
It's my
along.
fault. It was Elysia
It
all
was you
along.
all along. I knew it was you. I know it was you, Lisa. You don't go against the family. You
I
went
know.
against the
I'm
family.
sorry, Godfather. Oh, but I am, as I said, out of everything on here, and maybe this just says something about my personality. I am currently most excited for the very next thing, which is Wonder Man.
Wonder Man.
Uh, Again, 8 episodes dropping January 27th. We'll be back beginning of February to break them down.
Yeah.
Super excited about that. And we want to hear your thoughts. Please email them to comics
Yeah,
versus
let us
comics
know.
vs
Let us know
at
where you stand.
thelorehounds.com. You'll find that linked in the show notes. And actually, we have something else to talk about that will come out probably just before that. And that is The Bone Temple, the new 28 years later movie. It's coming out January 15th, directed by Nia DaCosta of Candyman and the Marvels fame. And Hedda, I should say, her new movie Hedda is doing quite well in award season. And test audiences apparently went crazy for the Bone Temple, and the third film off the back of that has already been confirmed. So yay!
Looking forward to zombies.
And I think we're getting Riley back in on that too, who was with
That
us
would be
for the
great. That's going
other
to be awesome.
discussion.
Yeah, that's going to
Yeah.
be great.
What else we got going on the Lorehounds main feed?
So we got the Pluribus season wrap up. There's a practical VFX interview with Lee Romero that I think David is doing.
I did. No, I did it.
That you did it. Okay, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
So that will be dropping when?
Yeah, I think it'll be dropping next week.
Okay, cool. And then there's going to be extensive coverage of A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, both Lorehounds and Properly Howard feeds.
So yeah, 3 episodes a week, 3 on the Properly Howard's feed, 1 on the Lorehounds feed where we cross over the main episode. So it's going to be because Anthony, obviously Maester Anthony, who is the A Song of Ice and Fire universe expert. It's going to be pretty much him and everyone. So you're in good hands with your A Night of the Seven Kingdoms coverage. John and I both reread the books recently, very excited as well.
Okay.
David coming in fresh, and Steve bringing his humor. He has read the books, though.
Nice.
So David's our fresh face. And Marilyn and I are going to do a Percy Jackson one shot at the end of the month.
When are you going to do that? I want in.
Oh, you want in? Okay, awesome.
Yeah, I want in.
Yeah, we haven't scheduled it yet, but like shortly after, I forget. I'll have to look. The
Season
final
end?
episode. Yeah, the final episode is the last week in January. So right after
cool.
that.
All right, cool. Let me know.
Yeah, cool. All right. And and award season coverage is already beginning. The Oscar nominees are being announced January 22nd, my birthday. And
Oh,
David and I have already scheduled our kickoff for that weekend so we can talk through the best picture front runners. If you want to get a head start, make sure you're watching Sinners and listening to our coverage, one battle after another, and listening to David's 3 times coverage. Frankenstein.
make
And
sure you're
listening to
watching
our
Sinners.
coverage.
You're listening to Sinners and you're watching Sinners.
More Sinners. Frankenstein also definitely going to be a best picture. And also, we haven't covered them yet on the network. They're both still in theaters. Hamnet and Marty Supreme are other big names for this season. So if you want to get a head start there and come chat with us in the Discord about it all, you'll find that linked in the link tree in the show notes.
We want to hear all your thoughts, and let's talk about these things.
Yeah, we've had some lively conversations about all this going on. So I love our Discord hub. It's a nice, safe space to share our full geekery.
Yes, indeed. Let the flags fly.
Yeah. If you're enjoying this, then of course we want to talk to you, but we know there's a lot of silent listeners out there. We see you in the numbers. We appreciate you. We appreciate you taking the time to hang out with us. If you enjoy this episode, then we would love it if you would share it with other people who you think want to know what's going on with Marvel and DC in the coming year. If you feel compelled to leave a nice review for us wherever you're listening, that's also an enormous help for us in helping us find new listeners and grow so that we can focus more of our attention on this.
Yeah, and just your feedback as well. Everyone's feedback is always welcome to hear what you guys are thinking and feeling and going through as we watch these things. So please let us know.
And if you want to go to a step deeper, then you can become a Supercast or Patreon subscriber. 2 ways to subscribe to the same feed. You'll find that in the link tree in the show notes too. You get ad-free access to all of these episodes, including this episode, but also you get bonus contents. Like, for example, I just did a What You Watchin' with Brian, our resident presidential historian, on Death by Lightning, which is a new Netflix series that came out at the end of last year that just so happens to be about Brian's particular area of expertise, James Garfield. So definitely check that out if you're a subscriber. And it's also January is my month for the Second Breakfast and Elevensies. So for Second Breakfast, the theme is winter beverages. And for Elevensies, the theme is cold comfort films. Fargo is far out in the lead. And then let's see. Okay. So from the Epic folder, because superheroes, I have to give our special thank yous. Here we go. Ooh, thank you to our Discord server boosters, Aaron K, Tiller the Thriller, Doob71, Athena Ajalea, Lestu, Nancy M, Ghost of Partition, Radioactive Richard, and Andrian. And thank you to all of our listeners. Thank you especially to our subscribers, and most of all to our lore masters, the top tier, Samartian, Michael G, Michelle E, SC, Peter OH, Nancy M, Doob71, Brian 8063, Frederick H, Sarah L, Gareth C, and Andre B, Kwang Yu, Nathan T, Sub-Zero, Aaron K, Jolly V, Mothership 61, Gnarls, Kathy W, Liz Du, Jeffrey B, Elisa U, Ben B, Scott F, Stephen N, Julia F, Carly S, Ilmariel, Paul K, Rocky Zim, Jessica A, Red Zippy, the TCS, Dopamini, Catch It, LNR, Mrs. Tennant, AC Wilson, Eli W, Cassie K, Chumba Rooney, Catilla, Josh Liu, Paynton PDX, Corey G, and always last, Adrian. Thank you so much, and please do check out our affiliates. Radioactive Ramblings is currently covering Fallout. Nevermind the Music is always talking about where psychology meets music. We'll Shift Us. We just finished up A Christmas Carol and Frankenstein deep dive coverage, and we will be getting back into Dune, Star Wars Canon Timeline podcast, and of course, Properly Howard, where you will be getting a deep, deep dive into A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. Okay, Jean.
That instrumental was wild, yo. That was wild. That's
epic, triumphant cut.
That was wild. Yeah. I already told Fikey what it is. All right. It's 2026, man. Damn some Idris. I just rewatch F1. Come on, brother.
What? Oh, yeah, I just watched F1 for the first time, actually. So
Oh, get out of here.
Okay, but here's a question. What do we
Yes.
want to say to Netflix about taking over DC?
Oh, man. You can't ask me that right now. I don't know.
Theatrical windows are important. Remember the money.
No, the 17-day thing gotta go out the window. Yeah,
and do not binge drop. For the love of God, please do not binge drop. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We've said our piece. Thank you all. Talk to you soon. Check out Wonder Man.
Coming soon. Yeah.
The Lorehounds podcast is produced and published by the Lorehounds. You can send questions and feedback and voicemails at thelorehounds.com/contact. Get early and ad-free access to all Lorehounds podcasts at patreon.com/thelorehounds. Any opinions stated are ours personally and do not reflect the opinion of or belong to any employers or other entities.